Hi everyone, welcome to the Numerology and the Astrology for July 9th, 2020. If you add all those numbers together, you get a pure 20, and if you add the 2 plus the 0, you get the number 2. So you've heard me probably say a couple of times that sometimes I'll split the 2 and I'll do 1 and 1 makes 2. But when you get a pure 20 like this, I just leave it exactly as the 2. If you add the 2 and the 0 together, you get a pure 2. So you can feel the negativity, right? It's not like this is hard to ignore. So there's a lot of critical rise that is happening that is trying to kind of break our spirit, and don't let it, okay? Yes, this is going to go on for a while. No, it's not going to stop quickly. Yes, all of us are going to be wearing masks and living with this for a long time because of the freedom of America. No, I don't think they would close America back down again just because of the economy, which means that, people are going to get sick and people are going to die. And that's just the way this kind of moves. So brace for shocking numbers and overflowing hospitals. And it's hard to cope when so much continues to undermine stabilizing factors in our world, and clearly nothing is going to be balanced right now. So use your mind in constructive ways that include facts and truth, because the number 2 is the number of logic and the mind, but not in that place that you don't want it to turn into kind of criticism and criticalness and finding fault. I mean, you want to use it from the place of observing, looking at things from a detached viewpoint, dealing with things in a logical, rational format. And so, remember there is so many are on the edge of a snap point on so many levels. And there is so much that is going to continue to get really aggressive and exploding and violent because of Mars being in Aries and accentuating those people that would like to fight first, ask questions later. And I'm not just talking about COVID. I mean, so just be really clear about this. Is like, this astrology is global, it's monumental, it's big, it's affecting everybody. It's not just us. And so you have to stay calm. You have to keep your heart as open and as safe as possible. And it's going to be this place where, just notice where the negativity starts to come in, and how when you start to have those negative thoughts, how it makes you feel depressed and it makes you feel down, and then you need to do something and get out of your rut. You need to do something different. You need to, go for a walk. You need to get out in nature. You need to think of another problem rather than the problems that are directly in front of you. Okay. The moon is in the emotional, volatile, and sensitive sign of Pisces. Do things that promote moments that are grounded and healthy, conscious, and present. The moon in Pisces wants to feel safe and trusting, but you cannot fully embrace the depth of such a moment because there is so much instability in the external world. This is that moment you trust yourself first, if you're a sane person. Okay, so try to not get hooked into all the trauma drama that everybody wants to hook you into, and take care of yourself and promote sanity and centeredness and clarity for yourself. You cannot expect others to be a stabilizing force in such a chaotic world. We clearly cannot expect governments to be a stabilizing force in such a chaotic world. We cannot expect police departments to be stabilizing forces in such a chaotic world completely at the moment, though I know a lot of really wonderful police officers that are trying so hard and are just devastated by all the negativity coming at them. So yes, there's a few bad apples everywhere, everybody. And in anything, there's always a few bad apples. And so it doesn't matter what job you're in, it just is that is getting pinpointed at the moment. So do your best to be kind, because the tension is so intense for certain people in certain jobs. Venus and Pluto interact in a way that brings more tension into an already tense world. I know you wanted to hear that. Know that those that prefer to hold fear-based suspicions as fact could want to make things go to an extreme, okay? Many feel that they are losing things that have defined them. And when enough of those things are removed, there is a backlash that is going to be stunning. Best to keep on a direct path that is based on clarity and truth. Manipulation right now will absolutely backfire on you. Venus is still retrograde, and it brings growing financial stresses more in your face. You can trust you. You need to do things for you and your family. You cannot trust a lot of external things right now, but you know what you're capable of. You know what you can do. You know how to handle things. You know how to be careful, cut back, pay attention. And your needs, you need to recognize that your wants, needs, demands, and desires are often based on what you are not given at critical times in your life. And you cannot expect the external world to give you what you need to first give yourself. So, because of the astrology and the numerology today, I am falling back on a quote from the Dalai Lama. Thank you. It's this one. It says, if every 8-year-old in the world was taught meditation, we would eliminate violence from the world within 1 generation. The Dalai Lama. And I believe that's true. I think that people don't have a center. They don't have their own sense of self. They don't actually know who they are. And it's harder to not be vulnerable to hearsay and rhetoric and lies if you actually don't know the core essence of who you truly are. And the more that you know that, the more it's so obvious, like it becomes really, really obvious what's off. But you can't teach that to somebody unless they actually go within and clear out their own riffraff that they have on the inside, our own distortions, our own fantasy on bonds, our own beliefs, our own, that's what life is about being in this world and being of this world, but also recognizing that there's more to us than just what is in this world. Okay, so my blog today, on a more positive note. Tomatoes are going to town in my garden. Sugar snap peas are cracking. Delicata squash are beginning to happen. So things are starting to work in the garden. It is amazing how much effort it takes to make food. Hopefully I'm not the only one noticing that tremendous effort and appreciating all those farmers out there. It is clearly a passion for some that I can now more fully understand. I have the added problem of keeping the critters out of my garden because I live in the redwood forest, and because I feed the birds and there are seeds everywhere. I think that some small creatures think this is Wagner's Bar and Grill. So they come in large numbers that would normally not be for this particular plot of land. But I can't stand to not help the struggling creatures of the world. I am more than willing to share my blueberries and strawberries, but I would like just a few for all my effort. They, of course, think that I did it just for them. They think that they have got a Costco here. They really do. We have 20 plus baby quail that prance through the yard twice a day, with a very proud papa that sits on my netting over my blueberries and guards and patrols my backyard for danger. And danger is lurking in dark corners with my cat, who now thinks after 14 years she is a hunter. After a few chipmunks lost the battle, I let my cat know in clear terms that catching small chipmunks and birds is not acceptable behavior. She is so smart that she mostly gets it. It's just so tempting with all those tasty morsels in her territory, like prancing through all throughout the day. I had to put wire screens around my deck edges because she was lurking in the shadows that gave her an unfair advantage. I had to fix her little black wagon because she's a little black cat. She now hides there, and she can't get to them as easily. So it's kind of like cat television with the filter. So today, send love to all those farmers out there doing such an amazing job for all of us so we can eat. Thank you to the farmers that pick the crops, the farm workers that pick the crops so that they can get to our tables. And thank you to the truck drivers that make sure the products get to the stores. I am grateful to be in a country that is the breadbasket of the world. Take a moment to be in silence and gratitude for the beautiful foods on your table that you can share, please, and enjoy with your family. The attitude of gratitude goes a long way. Thanks, everybody. Bye.